All right, so are you ready to dive into something fun today?
Always.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Have you ever, stopped to think about the story behind, that song Cockles and Mussels
Yeah.
about Molly Malone?
Oh, yeah.
Today, we're going to go beyond that catchy tune to explore County Dublin, the heart of Ireland,
Hooray!
and apparently home to our beloved Molly Malone.
It really is intriguing how a simple song can just capture the essence of a place.
Yeah, totally. Like, just listening to it makes me want to hop on a plane and, experience it all firsthand.
I know, right?
And thankfully, we've got a fantastic virtual tour guide today.
Oh,
This article from Love Ireland, titled Explore County Dublin Home of Molly Malone. I'm already seeing some hidden gems here, things you wouldn't find in your typical travel brochure.
those are always the best finds. The unexpected treasures that just give you a true sense of place.
Right, like you really feel like you're there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so right off the bat, the article claims that the Molly Malone statue is the most photographed in Dublin. That's quite a claim. Why do you think it's so popular?
Hmm. Well, it's hard to separate the statue from the song itself. I mean, Sweet Molly Malone is practically an anthem for Dublin.
It is a catchy tune.
Very catchy. It evokes this sense of nostalgia and, paints a vivid picture of everyday life in the city's past.
Yeah.
It's no wonder people want to capture that feeling with a photo at the statue.
It's true. It's like this tangible link to the song, bringing the story to life right there on the streets of Dublin.
That connection between the song and the statue and just the city itself is what makes it so captivating for visitors.
Definitely. It's like having a soundtrack playing in your head as you explore.
I love that.
Me too. And speaking of exploring, the article lists some amazing things to see and do in Dublin.
Okay, let's hear it.
Of course, you have your iconic Guinness storehouse, but it's more than just a brewery.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a complete sensory experience. You're not just learning about the history of Guinness, you're immersed in it. You see the process, you can smell the roasted barley, and ultimately you get to taste the finished product. It's a celebration of brewing as an art form.
Oh, I've heard they even have a section where you can learn how to pour the perfect pint.
Oh, yeah, that's key.
That's an art in itself.
It is. There's a specific technique to it, and believe me, it makes a difference. They take their Guinness seriously in Dublin.
I bet they do.
Yeah.
Now, for something completely different, the article mentions Glasnevin Cemetery. I've got to say cemeteries aren't usually top of mind for travel, but this one sounds particularly intriguing.
Yeah, it's more than just a cemetery. It's like a historical chronicle of Ireland. You can walk among the graves of some of the nation's most influential figures, people who shaped the course of Irish history, politics, and culture.
So it's almost like stepping into a history book,
Exactly.
but even more immersive because you're right there surrounded by the stories.
Right, it's a tangible connection to the past.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
If we're talking about immersive experiences, we have to mention the National Botanic Gardens.
Oh, those are beautiful.
They are. It sounds like the perfect escape from the city bustle.
Totally. Imagine strolling through these meticulously curated gardens with, you know, diverse plant life from all over the world.
Wow.
There's a sense of tranquility there, a contrast to the energy of the city. It's a reminder of nature's beauty and resilience, even amidst this, urban landscape.
It sounds like a perfect spot to recharge and find some peace. Now, for our listeners who might be sports enthusiasts, Croke Park is a must-see, right?
Absolutely. This is the heart and soul of Gaelic games, a stadium pulsating with energy and tradition.
Wow.
Even if you're not familiar with the rules, you know the atmosphere is electric.
Okay.
You can feel the passion of the fans and just the centuries of history behind these uniquely Irish sports.
That's cool. So it's a chance to experience a side of Irish culture that's, deeply rooted in community and heritage.
Exactly. It's like a glimpse into the soul of Ireland, its competitive spirit, and its love for tradition.
I love that. And finally, we can't forget the coastal town of Howth,
Oh my God.
which seems to be a favorite of yours.
Yeah.
What makes it so special?
Howth is where Dublin meets the wild beauty of the Irish coast. Imagine dramatic cliffs overlooking the Irish Sea, the salty air whipping through your hair, and charming fishing villages filled with the aroma of fresh seafood.
Oh, wow.
It's this perfect blend of natural splendor and local charm.
Okay.
A place where you can feel the pulse of the sea and hear echoes of ancient seafaring tales.
You've painted such a vivid picture. I can practically hear the seagulls and taste the salty air.
That's Howth for you. It's a sensory feast, a place that captures the rugged beauty of the Irish coast.
It sounds like the perfect place to escape the city and reconnect with nature.
It is. And, as we're talking about all these incredible spots in Dublin, it strikes me that the city is more than just its iconic landmarks. It's the little hidden gems that really bring it to life.
Oh, for sure.
What stands out to you about Howth, for example?
Honestly, those clips you described earlier have me captivated, like the idea of standing atop those rugged cliffs and feeling the wind and the vastness of the Irish Sea. It sounds breathtaking.
It is. Howth Head offers some of the most awe-inspiring coastal views you can imagine. And it's not just a visual experience, it's visceral. You can feel the power of nature there, the wildness of the sea, and the resilience of the landscape.
Wow, you mentioned charming fishing villages earlier, too. Does Howth have that authentic working harbor feel?
Absolutely. The harbor is bustling with activity, with fishing boats coming and going, and the air is filled with the scent of salt and the sounds of seagulls. And of course, you can't visit Howth without indulging in some of the freshest seafood you'll ever taste.
It's like stepping into a different world,
Yeah.
a place where time seems to move a little slower and the connection to the sea is palpable.
Exactly. And that's what makes Dublin so fascinating, isn't it? You can have these diverse experiences from the bustling city center to the tranquil gardens to the wild coastal beauty, all within such close proximity.
It's like a tapestry of experiences woven together, each thread contributing to the richness of the whole. Speaking of threads, the article briefly touched on Dublin Castle and Kilmainham Jail. I have to admit, I'm intrigued by the historical weight these places must carry.
They're both incredibly significant sites, each telling a different chapter of Ireland's complex history. Dublin Castle, for instance, served as the seat of British power for centuries, a symbol of their control over Ireland.
So it's not just a beautiful structure, it's a witness to pivotal moments in Irish history, a place where power struggles played out and shaped the course of events.
Precisely walking through those halls, you can almost feel the echoes of those power dynamics, the tension between those who ruled and those who fought for their freedom.
And Kilmainham Jail, that name evokes a sense of darkness and hardship. What makes it so impactful?
Kilmainham Jail held many key figures in the Irish struggle. For independence, people were imprisoned there, and some even executed for their beliefs, their fight for a free Ireland.
It's a stark reminder of the human cost of freedom, the sacrifices made by those who came before. It's not just history in a textbook. It's real, raw, and incredibly moving.
Exactly. Visiting Kilmainham Jail is a visceral experience. You can imagine the cold, damp cells, the despair, but also the unwavering spirit of those who refuse to be broken. It's a testament to the human capacity for resilience in the face of adversity.
I'm sensing a theme here. Exploring Dublin seems to be about peeling back these layers of history, uncovering stories that shape our understanding of the city and its people.
That's a great way to put it. Dublin is a city with layers upon layers of stories waiting to be discovered, stories that whisper from the cobblestones, the castle walls, and even the prison cells. And the more you delve into those stories, the richer your experience becomes.
It's like becoming a detective, piecing together the clues of the past to gain a deeper appreciation for the present. So for someone planning a trip to Dublin, what's your advice? How can they best connect with these layers of history and experience?
Don't be afraid to step off the beaten path. Talk to locals. Ask questions. Listen to their stories. Seek out those lesser-known places that pique your curiosity. Those are often the places where you'll find the most authentic connections to the city's soul.
That's fantastic advice. It's about embracing the spirit of discovery, of letting yourself be surprised and challenged by what you encounter. We've talked about history and nature, but what about Dublin's vibrant arts and culture scene?
Oh, Dublin is a city brimming with creativity. The article highlights its literary heritage. And for good reason. Think James Joyce, Oscar Wilde, Samuel Beckett. Some of the world's greatest literary figures have walked these streets and drawn inspiration from this city.
It makes me wonder if you can feel their presence in the city today, if there are places where their words seem to linger in the air.
Without a doubt, you can visit the James Joyce Center, for example, a museum dedicated to his life and works offering a fascinating glimpse into his world and the Dublin that shaped him. But even beyond dedicated sites, you can feel the literary spirit woven into the fabric of the city.
I'm imagining cozy pubs where writers gathered to debate ideas, historic libraries filled with the scent of old books, maybe even a park bench where a famous line was pinned. It's like a literary treasure hunt waiting to be embarked upon.
You've got it. Dublin is a city best explored on foot with an open mind and a thirst for discovery. You might stumble upon a statue commemorating a beloved poet, a hidden bookshop tucked away on a side street, or even a plaque marking the spot where a famous novel was set.
Those are the moments that truly make a trip memorable, the unexpected encounters that connect you to the spirit of a place. Speaking of memorable encounters, the article mentioned the Temple Bar District, I've heard it's quite a lively spot.
Temple Bar is definitely a hub of energy and creativity. It's known for its traditional pubs, live music, and buzzing atmosphere. It's a place where you can feel the pulse of Dublin's nightlife soak in the local culture, and maybe even enjoy a traditional Irish music session.
It sounds like the perfect place to experience the city's more vibrant and boisterous side. But let's not forget about our listeners traveling with families. What does Dublin offer for younger explorers?
Dublin is incredibly family-friendly. The article mentioned Dublin Zoo, which is one of the oldest zoos in the world. It's home to a diverse collection of animals and offers a wonderful opportunity for kids to learn about wildlife and conservation efforts.
There's something magical about seeing exotic animals up close, especially for children. It sparks their curiosity and fosters a love for the natural world.
Absolutely, and for those seeking a bit of tranquility amidst the city's energy, Phoenix Park is a fantastic option.
Ah, yes. Europe's largest enclosed urban park. I'm picturing sprawling green spaces, tree-lined paths, maybe even a chance to spot some deer roaming freely. Is that the vibe?
You've captured it
Yeah.
perfectly. Phoenix Park is a true oasis within the city, a place where you can escape the hustle and bustle, enjoy a leisurely stroll, have a picnic, or simply relax and soak in the peaceful surroundings. It's a perfect spot for families to unwind and reconnect with nature.
It sounds like the perfect balance to the city's more energetic attractions. And, as we're talking about all these amazing places, I'm realizing that we've barely scratched the surface of what Dublin has to offer. There's so much more to explore, to discover, to experience.
That's the beauty of Dublin. It's a city that keeps revealing its secrets layer by layer to those who are open to exploring. And speaking of layers, we haven't even touched upon Trinity College.
Oh, yeah. Trinity College. It's almost synonymous with Dublin, isn't it?
It is.
The article mentioned it's home to the Book of Kells.
Yeah.
And that incredible long-room library, it sounds like a book lover's paradise.
It truly is. Trinity College is steeped in history and academic prestige, and it holds some of Ireland's most treasured artifacts. Walking through its cobblestone squares, you can practically feel the weight of centuries of knowledge and scholarship.
I bet.
Yeah.
The Book of Kells specifically what makes it so special. I have to admit, I'm picturing like a dusty old book. I'm guessing it's much more than that.
Oh, it's far more than just an old book. The Book of Kells is an illuminated manuscript, a masterpiece of Irish art and calligraphy created over 1,200 years ago.
Wow.
The detail and artistry are simply breathtaking. Imagine intricate Celtic knots, vibrant colors, and delicate lettering, all painstakingly crafted by monks dedicated to preserving knowledge and faith.
Wow, that's incredible. And what about the long room library? What makes it so unique?
Okay, picture this, a vast two-story library. Its walls lined with towering oak shelves that seem to stretch endlessly into the distance.
Wow.
The shelves are filled with over 200,000 of Trinity's oldest books, their leather spines whispering tales of bygone eras. The scent of aged paper and the hushed atmosphere create a sense of reverence, a feeling that you've stepped into a sacred space dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge.
It's like stepping back in time, surrounded by the wisdom of generations past. I can almost hear the echoes of scholars debating ideas and the soft scratch of quill pens on parchment. As we've been discussing all these incredible places in Dublin, I'm struck by the city's ability to seamlessly blend its rich heritage with a modern, vibrant energy.
It's a remarkable balance, isn't it? You can wander through ancient castles in the morning and then enjoy a cutting-edge play at the Abbey Theatre in the evening. You can sip a pint of Guinness in a traditional pub and then savor innovative cuisine at a Michelin-starred restaurant. Dublin embraces its past while constantly evolving and looking towards the future.
It's a city of contrasts, where history and modernity coexist in harmony. And that seems to be a recurring theme in our exploration of Dublin. Those layers upon layers of experience, from the historical to the natural to the artistic.
Exactly, and that's what makes Dublin so captivating. It's a city that invites you to peel back those layers, to explore its hidden depths, and to create your own unique Dublin story as we wrap up our deep dive. I keep coming back to that idea of embracing those layers.
It's not just about checking off the major landmarks, but about seeking out those hidden gems, those unexpected moments of connection that reveal the true heart of a city.
Precisely, walk the streets, listen to the music, savor the food, and most importantly, engage with the people. Let the locals be your guide, and they'll unveil a Dublin that goes far beyond any guidebook or article.
That's beautiful advice. It's a reminder that travel is about more than just sightseeing. It's about human connection. about experiencing a place through the eyes of those who call it home.
And Dublin is a city that welcomes you with open arms, ready to share its stories and its soul with those who are open to receiving them.
So to our listeners, I encourage you to listen to Sweet Molly Malone one more time. Let the melody transport you to the cobbled streets of Dublin and start planning your own adventure. Remember, the true magic of Dublin lies in those layers waiting to be peeled back and discovered. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.